during COVID, they gave us an opportunity to have a bigger ad for the price we were paying for our other ad. So we went to a full-page ad in this guidebook, and we've been really active in Central Iowa tourism. Like, our Tama County ad is beautiful. We are getting requests on a weekly basis. Like, since we switched to this bigger ad, every single week Joanne's sending out specifically Tama County info. So we love this connection with them, and you guys pay that $500 a year for the county to belong.
Yeah.
It is worth every penny, you guys. The amount of extra help that like Matchstick gets, that the Salt and Pepper Shaker gets, the fact that it opens us up to the travel marketplace. And I worked the travel marketplace on behalf of Catherine Wick and Ellen Young about 3 or 4 weeks ago now in Ankeny. One-on-one time with travel operators, people that bring in tour buses. The things they do, the resources they bring to the table, 100% worth it. So when that comes up again, 100%, I'm in favor of us not dropping that at all. We get way big bang for our buck.
Okay.
So part of this too, we're redoing the guidebook, the actual Tama County guidebook. So if you guys have seen, it's mostly all social media. We did get a newspaper story out of it. We did the photo contest that we talked about at the board meeting the last time. We are getting tons of entries, really fantastic entries. And so Joanne's getting the photo releases signed on every entry as they come into her. And then we're putting that in a Google Doc so that the gal who's working on our travel website has access to all those photos we're getting in. It is gonna be a really good project to get us great photos for website and travel guide. And the photo release says that we're gonna use it in our print media, everything. So that's been great. We're having such good success with that, we got to thinking about it. We're gonna do a business and industry photo contest after the first of the year. When this one ends, we're gonna do business and industry because we need those photos to build the Tama County Economic Development website. And that gets us pictures from actually inside the fold of businesses. And so I think that's gonna be a really fun program. We're still hearing that we're in the mix for RAGBRAI, and so we're watching that closely. That'll be a January 28th announcement. I probably have 6 restaurants from throughout the county that aren't Tama or Toledo that will definitely be coming and doing a vendor booth. Some of these restaurants that are going through the business recovery program, if they come that night, they're gonna pay virtually no vendor fee because the Tama Toledo Chamber has said, like, we're gonna make it so that it's a Tama County effort. And those businesses, you can have a $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 night. So a brand new owner I'm working with, like one in downtown Dizer, a brand new owner, that's a game changer, one night of income, like that kind of level. But I am also not denying that in the middle of what I just talked about, all the time for the business recovery program, all of a sudden, January 28th, we could get an announcement that is beyond frightening what kind of lift it is. And we would have 7 months to prepare. And we're looking at more than doubling the county population that night. They're telling us to plan 18 to 20,000 visitors between riders and visitors.
That's guaranteed.
Yeah, if we land it, that's a guarantee. We will more than double the population in one night. So we wanna make sure that this is a lift for the whole county. That if the Guidebook Commercial Club wants to come down and volunteer hours, then what we're trying to work out is a way to bring volunteers from other places from the county, and they're gonna make money. So here's a volunteer is worth, say, $15 an hour. You bring us volunteers for 50 hours, and they'll cut a check to that Lions Club or whoever, so that we can make this a fundraiser for any organization in the county that wants to bring volunteers to the table. Yeah, it'll be a lot of logistics, but definitely worth it for that one night of just a massive amount of income coming through.
Who would the volunteers be working for?
In some cases you think, and this sounds crazy, but like the beer tent alone,
Yeah.
we're probably looking at needing 75 to 80 volunteers just to run the beer tent alone. They said we should plan for 12 to 14,000 wristbands in the beer tent, and at $20 a pop, that's $280,000. So even things like that are on our to-do list. Like, how do we move that much cash safely from the park venue to the bank, like all of those things have to be completely worked out. The amount of streets that we'll have to close for Tama and Toledo in order to maintain public transportation and not end up with parking so that the buses can still get through. And that will most likely be the school buses. We'll use the South Tama school buses hopefully, and that's a person on every single bus. I mean, there's another volunteer just to stand on the bus and tell them what to do everywhere. So that, I mean, the list is astronomical. And so the chamber will drive that ball, but definitely Joanne and I will play a massive role in that. And my caveat to that was it has to include the whole county. If the Lions from Garwin wanna come, they're worth this much an hour, they brought this many volunteers, we cut them a check at the end.
Sounds like it's gonna take a lot.
It is, it really is, and we've also gotten some really good corporate sponsorship money locally already. I've already kinda locked in a fair amount of money so that we can pay for certain services. Because even when I put the proposal together for the chamber, the estimate for just the porta potties alone was $18,000. And so the expenses up front are astronomical. But the Tama Toledo Chamber has already issued a line of credit for $100,000. And so that also really solidified the proposal, to be honest.
So you send the mayor to see the banker, is that what you do?
Yeah, the chamber's, they got the letter for line of credit. And the other thing we tried at that last point where we put the proposal together, we went to Pioneer, we went to Corteva, and that we really expected was gonna kill the whole project, because it's hard to find enough land. I mean, we're struggling to get the right spaces, and within a week, they replied and said, use every bit of bare ground at Corteva that you want. And then all of a sudden, when we filed the proposal, we had twice as much available campground as what was required. We already had the city people on board as far as electric and panels and all those kinds of things we're gonna need, and the chamber stepped forward with $100,000. So the proposal is really solid. I mean, I feel very confident that we have a good, solid shot at this.
Well, that's great.
Yep.
When will we know for sure?
January 28th. That's the reveal party in Des Moines, and that's when they'll come to us.
We'll know then if it's a boy or a girl, right?
Yeah.
And I'd still use those terms, by the way.
So-
Catherine, are you promoting Tilbury Heights for places where they've got cabins and?
That's the next step of it, is once we are awarded it, then we have to go around and find all those extra places. We'll have to do the push for local families to host. That's when, we have about 8 chairs lined up right now, we probably need 4 more. And then at that point, it'll be the massive effort of each chair getting the volunteers they need under their category.
And they have a big shower house and everything.
Exactly, and it sounds like the car wash will get converted into showers, that's what happened in 2008.
That's a high pressure washer.
Exactly. And then also, I think we've worked it out. I mean, this is all still a lot of moving parts since we don't know we really landed it yet. But what we're hoping is the school will be able to do a fundraiser for showers. We'll close the piece of the trail that goes from the park to the school parking lot. And the kids will go back and forth on golf carts, and they'll pick up a rider, take them, they'll shower, they'll bring them back. And so that should be, when you think about, we may run 5,000-6,000 people through the school for showers at $5 a pop. That's a great fundraiser for the school.
Sure is.
And so we're gonna have a lot of moving parts, but wow, is this an opportunity to really parlay some great fundraising for local organizations. We also filed a second housing application for the building here in Toledo that Toledo Community Development's working on. They're gonna move over and go ahead and work on housing on that second piece. So we're gonna do 4 upstairs apartments instead of 2. And then I have a church conversion project going for housing over in Tama. And that's that tiny piece of deratio funds that came through that maybe 90 days ago, Marty let us know from Region 6 that there was this last little piece of deratio funds. It was really small, but they broke it up into 4 counties, and so we got a little piece of it. And so our big goal was then, with that short a notice, you gotta find a project that'll fit in that. And so it looks like the church project is moving forward.
Which church is it?
it's still kind of a confidential project, he's
Okay.
got me kind of clamped down
Fine.
right now. So as soon as he gets a little further, he'll let me talk about that. I think he's still wondering if he's for
That's
sure
another-
gonna,
Another gag order, right?
well, in this case, the person doesn't wanna start telling the public that he's gonna do it when he's still a little unsure. And so, but the Duratio funds, that piece, I'm hoping that'll push him over the edge, that there's some help there right now.
Good enough.
Yeah, exactly. So lots of great things, you
So,
guys.
I did have an opportunity to talk a little while with your board member from Traer. She's looking good, feeling a lot better, she's got some procedures to go yet, but.
I talked to her the other day and she
Yeah.
sounded very lively on the phone, so that's great.
You know, she wasn't walking around yet, but she
That's
went through
great.
a lot
That's
to
great.
get this far, it's really fantastic.
Well, and so that you guys know, like, we sent out, the yearly dues, like, all the communities get their dues. And, a couple of communities that were really struggling, honestly, I don't rough them up to pay their dues when I know they're struggling to keep the street lights on in that community. We had virtually every community come to the table. Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, within like 3 weeks, we got every one of them in.
That's great.
And Tama and Toledo both, they voted at both councils, and they're willing to go to $3 per capita.
Good deal.
And so, and the other communities, you know, have been told that they're not gonna see that increase, only Tama and Toledo.
Nope.
So, that's an extra 6,000 right there almost, that we know we can count on.
A lot of good news this morning.
I know, like,
Yeah.
dang, I talked to a colleague the other day, and we were talking about different projects, and he's like, dang, he goes, how do you not love your job? I'm like, I do, it feels really cool to get done what we get done, you guys.
Good enough.
Would we have any idea what road RAGBRAI would be using to come in and out of?
I'm sorry, what?
Would we know what road RAGBRAI until they announce on?
Right now, what we pitched is, they would be coming from the Des Moines area, it sounds like. So they'd be coming in on Old 30, so as soon as we know something, like, I'm gonna have to go and scare Montour, to be honest. Because, like, the amount of people that are gonna go past Montour is gonna be astronomical.
So
but
that's what you're thinking.
That's what they'd come in on that Old 30, and then all of the festival part would take place at Toledo Heights Park and Corteva. So we'd use all that ground, and they liked the fact that we kept them away from the railroad tracks in downtown Tama, and the fact that we had this kind of locked-in safe area west of 63. Like, we're not crossing that highway, but we've been requested to reserve 135 hotel rooms at Meskwaki right now.
Wow.
Because the amount of highway patrolmen that come, it comes with just a massive group of people. So if we can land this, like, everybody will do well, hopefully. As long as it's not like 2008, like the last time, and then it'll be a little soggy, but we'll figure it out.
They're coming in on old 30.
Old 30,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
That's good.
yes. But like public safety, some really important pieces are locked in. Some people that I went to specifically because I knew they would be the person to handle it. And when we pitched it, it looked solid then. So yeah. it's-
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for coming in.
I'm headed to the office. We're gonna decorate the tree and drink a lot of hot chocolate. So if you stop in a little while, I may be even faster. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Laura, thanks for your help last week.
You're welcome.
What's she gonna be like when she gets fired up?
I don't know. Scary.
Yeah.